One day, Jatin hanged a 10 kilogram body on a spring balance and he found that it weighed 10 kilogram force in air. Then he immersed the body in water and he was surprised to see that it weighs only 6 kilogram force now. Then his mother explained him that the weight of the body is due to the gravitational pull of earth and is acting towards the earth. When the body is immersed in water, the force of water acts on the body upwards and hence the resultant force acts on the body is less. She also said that the mass of the body will be same even in water since it is the quantity of matter in a body and it will not change from place to place. So, the physical quantities are classified as two, scalar and vector quantities. The physical quantities which are expressed only by their magnitude is called scalar quantities. We need two parameters to express a scalar quantity, a numerical value and a unit. Mass, length, time, distance, density, etc. are examples of scalar quantities. Scalar quantities can be added, subtracted, multiplied and divided by simple arithmetic methods. The physical quantities like weight, force, etc. require the magnitude as well as the direction to express them. Then only their meaning is complete. The physical quantities which require magnitude as well as direction to express them is called vector quantities. We need three parameters to express a vector quantity: a numerical value, a unit and a direction. Displacement, velocity, acceleration, momentum, etc. are examples of vector quantities. The numerical value of a vector quantity along with its unit gives us the magnitude of the quantity. A vector quantity is always positive. The negative sign of the vector quantity implies the reverse direction. That means P1 is positive and P3 is negative since they are in opposite direction. Arun and Tina were flying an airplane. Rohit said, "Arun is moving," but Tina said, "No, Arun is not moving. He is sitting next to me." Who said the right statement? Yes, both of them are right because we decide whether a body is at rest or motion with respect to the surrounding. That means Arun is at rest with respect to the airplane and he is moving with respect to the ground. Hence, a body is said to be at rest if it does not changes its position with respect to the immediate surrounding, while a body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to the surrounding. We are all moving with respect to the universe. The rest and motion and scalar and vector quantities are two important concepts that we should know before learning one-dimensional motion. In our lesson, we are learning more about one-dimensional motion. When a body moves along a straight line path, its motion is said to be one-dimensional. It is also called motion in a straight line or rectilinear motion. A car moving along a straight road is an example of one-dimensional motion. In such a motion, there is no movement of the body in lateral direction or there is no sidewise motion. If a body moves in a plane along a curved path, its motion is two-dimensional, and if it moves in a space, its motion is three-dimensional. The path of one-dimensional motion can be represented by a straight line parallel to the x-axis if x-axis is taken as the direction of motion. Each point on the straight line represents the position of the particle at different instants. Let us learn some important terms related to motion. Distance and displacement. Amit set his uncle to drop him to school, which is situated in 2 kilometers away due north. After dropping him, his uncle noticed that the car has travelled a distance 5 kilometers. Here, Amit set the exact direction of his school from home, and it is called displacement. The actual distance travelled by the car is the length of the path it followed, and which is called distance. So distance is the length of the path covered by the body, and it is a scalar quantity. Distance is represented by the letter S, and the SI unit of distance is meter and the CGS unit is centimeter. The distance travelled by the body depends on the path followed by the body. Now, the displacement is the shortest distance from initial to final position. It's a vector quantity and is represented by the letter S. Here the arrow indicates that it's a vector. The SI unit of displacement is also meter and CGS unit is centimeter. If the motion is along a fixed direction, the magnitude of displacement is equal to that of the distance. But if the motion is in a curved path, the magnitude of displacement is always less than that of the distance. The magnitude of displacement can never be greater than the distance travelled by the body. In some cases, the displacement can be zero even if the distance is not zero. Let's look some examples. Anne used to ride her bicycle from home to the library due east. One day, she stopped her cycle in front of the school, which is situated 500 meters away from home due east. Here, Anne travelled a total distance of 1900 meters. But the displacement travelled by Anne is the distance from initial to final position, which is only 500 meters due east. In this case, the displacement is less than distance. Here a boy is running around a circular ground which is of radius 7 meters. When the boy covers half of the distance, the total distance covered by the boy is equal to pi r, and which is 22 by 7 into 7 is 22 meters. But the displacement travelled by the boy is the distance from initial to final position, which is equal to the diameter of the ground and is 14 meters. When he covers one circular path and reaches to the original position, the displacement at the end of one round is 0, but the distance travelled is equal to the circumference of the circular path, which is 2 pi r. That is 2 into 22 by 7 into 7, which is 44 meters. So here the displacement becomes 0, but the distance is there. So let's distinguish between distance and displacement. The distance is the length of the path travelled by an object, but displacement is the shortest length between initial and final position of an object. The distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. Distance remains positive, can't be 0 or negative, but displacement can be positive, negative or 0. Distance can be equal to displacement or it is greater than displacement. Displacement can be equal to distance but never greater than distance, or it is lesser than distance always. The next terms are speed and velocity. For a moving body, speed is the quantity by which we know how fast a body is moving, while the velocity is the quantity by which we know how fast the body is moving in a certain direction. By speed, we do not know which direction the body is moving. So, speed of a body is the rate of change of distance with time. Numerically, it is the distance travelled in 1 second. Speed is a scalar quantity and is given by the equation distance by time. The SI unit of speed is meter per second and the CGS unit is centimeter per second. Let's see different kinds of speed. If a body covers equal distance in equal interval of time throughout its motion, the body is said to be moving with uniform speed. But if the body covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, the body is said to be in non-uniform motion. That means in non-uniform motion, the body covers unequal distances in equal interval of time and the speed of the body keeps on changing. When the speed of the body keeps on changing, the speed at any instant is measured by finding the ratio of distance travelled in a short interval of time divided by time. This speed is called instantaneous speed. So for a uniform motion, the instantaneous speed is equal to the speed of the body, and the instantaneous speed changes only for non-uniform motion. The ratio of total distance travelled by the body to the total time of the journey is called average speed. In case of a body moving with uniform speed, the average speed is same as the uniform speed. Now, velocity of a body is the distance travelled per second by the body in a specified direction. Hence, velocity is the rate of change of displacement with time, and velocity is equal to displacement by time. It's a vector quantity and the SI unit of velocity is meter per second and the CGS unit is centimeter per second. If a body travels equal distance in a particular direction in equal interval of time, the body is said to be moving with uniform velocity. So here the direction also must be same with the distance covered. Now if the body moves unequal distance in a particular direction in equal interval of time or moves equal distance in equal interval of time but its direction of motion does not remain same, then the velocity of the body is said to be variable. So, if the body is covering equal distance in equal interval of time, also direction of motion must be same in uniform velocity. The motion of a freely falling body is with variable velocity because although the direction of motion is not changing, the speed continuously increasing. Similarly, the motion of a body in a circular path even with uniform speed is a variable velocity because in a circular path the direction of motion of the body continuously changes with time. For a moving body with variable velocity, the velocity of the body at any instant is called instantaneous velocity. That is, the displacement travelled in a short interval of time divided by time interval gives the instantaneous velocity. If the velocity of a moving body in a particular direction changes with time, the ratio of displacement to the time taken in entire journey is called average velocity. So, average velocity is equal to total displacement by total time. Now, let us see the difference between speed and velocity. Speed is the distance traveled by the body in a unit time, and the velocity is the displacement of the body in unit time. Speed is a scalar quantity and it does not tell direction of motion of a body. Velocity is a vector quantity and it tells us the speed and direction of motion of a body. Speed is always positive, but the velocity can be positive and negative depending on the direction of motion. During the circular motion, the average speed does not become zero after completing one round, but the average velocity becomes zero since there is no displacement. Hope you all understood all the terms that we have learned in this section. Thank you and have a nice day.